Now we're going to begin with the very basic part where you learn how to send an email. Now when you open your Gmail, whether it is on a browser or on your phone, you do have this compose button which has a pen icon and the words compose. Now if you tap on this, you have the compose page or image here. Now if you want to expand this or make it a little bit bigger, you can do that and just expand that. I'll show you how to set up this as your default display if you want to maybe have it cover almost all of your screen when you're typing or you're sending an email. Now in this section, you're going to enter the recipient email. If I type something like that and the email, maybe it's for someone I've communicated with before, it will pop up, then I'll select it and I can just start composing my email. Now if I've not, then it means I'll have to compose or maybe enter an entire email in the correct format. Now in this section, we can list as many emails as we wish to if we want to send this email to different people. Now there is something that you can do at this section that is also very helpful. Now this is CC and BCC. Now CC stands for carbon copy and BCC stands for blind carbon copy. What this means basically is that when you send CC, it means that every person that you've copied the email to will see that the email was sent to the next person. If I send this email to this person and then add another person here as CC, it means that this person will notice that the same email was sent to their second person. Now if I want the email to be sent to people separately without one person knowing that I copied the other person, then I'll use blind carbon copy, which will mean that one recipient does not see that the other person received the email. So that's something you can do just by tapping CC, and then you can add something there, and then you can type BCC and also add a different email, for instance. Now that's what you can do in that section. Now once you're done with the recipients, you can move down to the subject section. Now the subject is basically something like what your email is about, and you should always keep it clear and brief so that you don't confuse maybe the recipient also or type something too long. So if, for instance, if I just wanted to say Gmail tutorial and I'm sending it to someone, this is just enough to explain or for someone to understand what your email is about. Now that's then that for that part. Now the next thing that we need to learn to do is compose the email. Now I'm going to remove this for now because it is somehow clouding this section, and I'll show you how that happens. The first thing that you need to learn here is when you're composing, there are certain built-in features that can help you write your email faster. So for instance, if I wanted to say I hope maybe this email fine. So you see there is that auto complete feature there. Now it is usually called smart compose, which is a feature that Google has built in. So if I press the tab key, it completes this for me. Now this comes by default set. You can either decide to leave it on or maybe just remove it if you don't like, if you just like typing your emails all alone. So I'm going to close this, and even before I close it, something that you should know, when I close this, it will be automatically saved, so I don't have to worry about that. So if I go to my settings and see all settings, I will scroll down to a section where now I'm going just on the general tab. If I scroll down and look for smart response, now if you come to this section, I have turned on smart response, which means that I'll be given suggestions whenever I'm typing my emails. If I turn this off, for instance, and go back to my drafts that I started creating, okay, let's go back that a little bit. There's something that we've missed, which is actually very important, because now if you do that, it means you will not get anything. So when I go to the smart response section and turn this on, I have to go down to the very bottom and save changes. If I don't save changes, it means that whatever I'm trying to do will not reflect on the other end. Now if I come back to this my test email and try typing something, I am maybe writing, so you see now it is not giving any suggestions because I've turned off that auto or maybe smart response, which automatically creates text for me. Now once I've done that, there is something else that I can do in this section. If I say maybe I've typed my email and I'm done, and maybe I have signed off, maybe yours, maybe type my name there, if I send this email here and I want to undo it, I can just tap undo because it's usually 5 seconds, but there's some setting that you can change. So let's close this and see how you can increase the time for that setting, the undo option. The same general tab, I'll scroll to the bottom and I'll look for undo sending options. So we scroll through here and search for sending options. See, send, and yeah, we have the undo. So this is mine is set at 30 seconds. I think I'd changed it before, but by default is usually 5 seconds. So it means you can unsend an email within 5 seconds. So that can be helpful if you have typed something wrongly, or maybe you attached the wrong image, or maybe you didn't enter the correct email address. So you will undo that email that you have tried to send. Now, just back on our email, the draft one, we are going to check something called scheduling. If I wanted to schedule this email or send it at a later time, I would just tap on the drop down arrow here and take schedule send. Now I can set my custom time. This is set according to my location, maybe my IP address, but I can pick my own time here and date. So I can maybe say I want this email to be sent within a week at the same time as I am at this point. Then I'll tap schedule send, and then this email will be sent at the specified time. Now this is important if you want like scheduling content, or maybe creating time for more, maybe other things, doing other things, other important things. So you can schedule an email, so and then you don't have to create that email at the exact time that you want it to be sent. The next thing that you need to learn here is maybe just formatting of this whole text page of your email. Now this can be done directly here. You can maybe decide the font size, the text color, maybe you can decide to underline it, make it italics, and many other settings, maybe font style. But you can also go and change your default settings so that you don't have to make these changes every time you are creating an email. So let's go back to our settings here, and if I go to all settings once again, I'll come here and scroll down. So I'm looking for default text. So you see I have default text style. So the default font style is usually sans serif, which is pretty clear. But if you have a specific font that your company uses, or maybe that is a bit more clear, then you can just select it there and edit the default sizing, normal, large, or huge. You can change the text color. You can add things like this, remove formatting of any maybe pasted text. So that's something you can do within this section to make sure that you have a specific type of maybe text, colors, and sizing and styling. Next thing that you need to do is signatures. Now when we started, remember I deleted something at the very bottom, which was email signatures. Now signatures are just like something that explain much more about you as the sender of the email, gives more details. So if I add my signature, the recipient will get to know more about me. So let's just do that. So usually you can do it from this point, either insert a signature. I have already created mine, but if you don't have one, you can just manage signatures, and once that opens, you can create your own signature. Or if that does not work from this section, let's go back to our settings, which is much easier. We can set up a general signature. So let's just open our settings. Here in the general settings, we have this signature section here. So I've already added a signature. This one was created in Google Docs. I'll leave a link to a video that explains how that can be done, where you can also add an image. But if you want to just create a plain signature here, you just can tap create new, and then you can maybe just say, let's just say test signature. We're going to disable this, some mistyping. Then I'll say create. So in this section, I'll enter my details. Let's say maybe I want to type something like this. Solutions. Maybe I want to add maybe my contact. Then I want to add like a link to maybe something like Facebook. So I'll just type that and then add X, add Instagram. Then I just highlight this to add a link. So I'll just copy a link of my profile from this specific platforms, and I just come to this chain link here, click on it and add a link to that. So if I just say maybe just add the defaults .com for instance and say okay, this will link generally to Facebook. So I can do that all for this. Now once I'm done with this, I'll just tap save down here. Then I'll go back to my email and try selecting that as my signature. So if I expand this and come to this section here and maybe refresh, okay. Manage signatures. Let's just close this so that it refreshes and opens that. So let's go back to our draft here and see if our signature has been created. Maybe we didn't say, here it is. Now I'll select test signature and then it will appear at the very bottom of my email. So I can opt to reposition this here, select and then choose position if I want to center them. Same thing. So that's up to you to decide how you're going to do it. Either put it in the center, far left or far right. The other thing that you need to learn here is maybe vacation responding. Now if you're going to be out, then you need to set up some form of vacation responder. Same thing, we go to settings and tap on all settings, and then we can scroll down once again to check for vacation responder. Here we go. Let's see, where is that vacation responder? Now this usually helps you with maybe setting a times that you're going to be on or off, so you don't have to like respond or maybe communicate with your users at that time. I can't really seem to find it, but it's supposed to be somewhere within this here. Yeah, it's down here. So we have vacation responder. At this point, it's set as off, so I can decide to set a certain timeline that I'm going to be on or off. So I choose the date, and I don't really have to set up the last day, but if I choose to set up the last day, maybe say 7 days, and just enter subject, maybe let's say something like paternity for instance, and then save it and turn it on. So I scroll to the bottom and save changes. Then now you see I have this here. There is this header section where it tells me the vacation is on. If I want to end it now, I can just end it now, but if I want to go back to the settings, I'll just tap on the settings tab button here and it will take me back to the settings. The next thing that we need to check out is email forwarding. Now let me go back to my inbox for instance. So someone sent me an email, for instance, this website I was trying here, and I would like to forward this email to somebody else. I'll just tap these 3 buttons in this section and tap forward. Then now when this opens, I can choose the recipients that I want to send this to, and maybe I can also edit this section here, give it a title. I have the option to edit lots of things here. So from the recipient I received it from, and enter the person I'm sending it to. Now you should notice that my signature is included by default because I set it as my default signature. I can always change this by selecting down here, like we said, to change the signature. So I'll forward this to maybe somebody, like just choose, and then I will send this. I can still also do CC and BCC here that we discussed before. Then I will either send it or schedule it. So for now I'm going to undo that because I didn't intend to send that. The last thing that we're going to look at here, not let's say the second last thing, is labels. Now labels helps you categorize emails, so you can choose a certain specific category types of emails and put them in within one label. So you can always click on the plus button here to create labels. Let me just say marketing emails, and I can put it under something or just leave it, then create. And now once I have a label marketing emails, I can go to my emails and go to my inbox, select certain types of emails. Let me just go to promotions and maybe select 2, and once I've done that, I can just say something like maybe add to let me see, mark as important. I can add them to a label. Let me see that, cancel that. So yes, here's the option. So choose labels. So I'll choose it was marketing emails. So by default set as promotions, but I can just add them there. Then I say apply. So if I go to my marketing emails label, I'll find the emails that I added here. Now this helps you organize your inbox and maybe easily filter your received emails. The last thing that we're going to look at here is receiving emails. Now when you're receiving emails, there are 2 things that you can do with your inbox generally, and also there's one more setting I'm going to show you about. So if I go to the settings, I have a preview of how my email inbox is going to appear. So by default, there's usually just a simple default here that will show you how your inbox will be like. Let me go to that inbox and preview as I set it up. Then you have that. But if I change this to something like comfortable, it will have a little bit different view. Now there are other options down here, so it's upon you to experiment and see what best works for you. So I can scroll down and go for things like unread fast, starred fast. If I have starred an email, I've made it like appear maybe important. So I want to maybe them to appear in the order of the start first, and then the rest of it, and read first, and then the rest of it, and all that. So there's just something that you can do. Now the last thing is that when you're receiving email, sometimes somebody may send you an email and it gets flagged as spam even though it's not. So in that case, you have to go to the more button and check your spam to see if it is a real email from like a real company or a person, or it is a scammer or a hacker. So sometimes emails are sent into this section by mistake, so you can always just open and decide report not spam if that's what happens. The same way you can turn an email from within your inbox that has not been flagged as spam and send it to the spam folder. So by doing that, let me close this first. So you're just going to tap this here, and you can maybe report this email as spam, or you can block the sender, or yes, just decide whatever you're going to do with this. So this will be sent into the spam folder, which you can always access by expanding this here. Now that's it, I think, for this tutorials. If you find it helpful, share it, like it, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you get updated whenever a similar video is uploaded. Till next time, see ya.